Hey everyone, Game Master here. Welcome back to another video. I'm doing this post commentary just because why not? Let's switch it up a little bit. Also, the thing that I'm going to talk about doesn't really pertain to anything that I could really show. So here we go. Yesterday at the time of this video, and a couple days ago, also at the time of this video, Exco Giga and Piano Dude released Would You Rather videos, where they basically covered uh, a ton of questions pertaining to like, would you rather do this or would you rather do that? And I thought, hey, what a good idea. I don't have any original ideas of my own, ever. So, no, I'm kidding. I do have some original ideas. But I just thought it would be kind of cool because I kind of enjoyed hearing them and I had my own opinions. So, let's get right into this. So, I'm going to open up the website, which will be linked down below if you want to go answer these yourselves. So, let's start with this. So first question is, would you rather have no one show up to your wedding or your funeral? Now this is a tricky question because I honestly I don't know. I I would probably have to say my wedding. However, if that meant like if nobody showed up to my wedding, would that mean that I also don't show up? Because I mean technically nobody's showing up, right? So if it was my funeral, then I wouldn't be there. Think about that for a little bit. It's it. I'm just thinking of this off the top of my head. Like if nobody shows up, then nobody's there. That means you're not there. So what? Um. All right. So the next question. I'm sorry. I'll give you guys like 2 or 3 seconds to think that over in your head. Okay, let's keep going. So would you rather go back in time and meet your ancestors, or go way into the future and meet your great-grandchildren? I would rather go to the future. There's a couple reasons for this. Number one, I would love to see the cool technology. Eh, there's a couple issues with this though. What if there's no technology advances? What if I accidentally meet myself who's been cryogenically frozen? You know, like there's all these questions. I would not like to go into the past because I could end up messing something up. Um, and it would just I don't know how to deal with that. I've been watching a bit of Doctor Who lately, and some of the episodes like Panicia's box just kind of blew my mind. It didn't blow my mind. It just kind of made me go, okay, that can't happen. But I would rather not mess around with time. Going to the future would probably be a safer alternative in my um in my opinion. Me and my grandchildren, that'd be kind of cool to see where I ended up. On the other hand, I mean I would rather do neither. I'll be completely honest. I would if I was forced to choose between the two, I'd rather go to the future, but I'd rather do neither. Neither. There's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, I'd rather not have to worry about where I'm going to end up, and if I end up, in the future successful, then I'm going to like worry about it, or I'm not going to do anything about it, and then I'll end up changing the future. So you got to kind of weigh all your options there. Um, I'm someone who likes to consider all the options, who likes to look at the effects of things, and personally, I'd rather just sit at home in front of a computer. Right. So next question. Would you rather live in a world where there are no problems, or live in a world where you rule? I would actually rather live in a world where there were no problems. It was just problem-free. Of course, actually, no, that's not true. I would rather live in a world where I rule, because if there are no problems, then there's not going to be any reason for new technology, for new things to arrive. If we were completely problem-free, everything's perfect, right? So there's not going to be anything new happening, and that's going to be a problem. So that would conflict a lot, and I'd rather not have to go with that. So I would rather rule the world, because then, you know, more innovation. At least there's going to be a couple problems in the world that people can innovate and try to fix. And I haven't been looking at the statistics on who has voted, but apparently more people would rather live in a world where there are no problems. That's a bit scary. Anyways, moving on to the next question. Would you rather live in Harry Potter's world or live a life of fame and wealth? I would rather be wealthy and famous. I mean, who says that the two worlds can't really combine? The two options can't combine. Like, why can't I be famous and wealthy in the Harry Potter universe? But I would rather be famous and wealthy because, as Piano Dude pointed out in his video, you could end up just being a muggle. And being a wizard would be pretty dang scary, considering that there's literally a spell. There's literally a spell that anyone can cast that will just immediately kill you. Is that not scary to anyone else? Am I the only one who thinks, yeah, I'd rather not dabble in magic? I mean, like, there's a ton of spells. We don't know what they do. We could just say random words and we could suddenly, I don't know, make a TARDIS appear. I'm sorry, that was the first thing that came to mind. But seriously, when you think about it, the Harry Potter world would be kind of scary. I don't see a question here for would you rather live in the Harry Potter world or the Pokemon world. For that, probably the Harry Potter world, because the Pokemon world is monsters everywhere. I'd rather not live there. Alright, next question. Would you rather get a dream vacation for 2 weeks or spend 5 days with anyone in the world, but you must stay in your hometown? This is an interesting question, because a dream vacation for me, like, I don't even know what that would look like. I do know who or what people I would spend 5 days with, though, and I do know that. So just for the sake of simplicity, I would rather spend 5 days with anyone in the world, because I know who those people are. I don't know what the heck my dream vacation would be like. I've got about a million ideas on what that could look like. So, anyways, let's scroll down here. Would you rather be able to fly or read minds? So, I've always wanted to fly. That's kind of my dream. I've always wanted to be able to fly. But there's a couple implications. What if you're never able to land? What if, what are the conditions of that? Maybe I shouldn't be looking too much into the conditions, though. So just off the top of my head, I'd rather be able to fly, because that would just be freaking epic. Reading minds, that would also be pretty cool, because I'm always wondering what people around me are thinking. And Professor Xavier, who they have pictured on the website, seems to be able to control that pretty well. So if flying wasn't an option, then I would definitely just choose reading minds, because that would be really, really cool. Next question. Who/what created the world? God or the Big Bang? It was the Big Bang that was started by Stewie Griffin's time return pad. I don't remember which episode of Family Guy that was in, but that was an episode, and so I'm going to say the Big Bang, and I'm also going to say that there was a universe before the Big Bang, but it just kind of collapsed in on itself. There's a ton of theories for, was the Big Bang real? How did it come around? I'm just going to say, it was the Big Bang, because it's a difficult question, because people will be like, oh, but there's nothing in the beginning. What if there was? What if something always existed? What created God? Think about that. What created God? So I'm going to go with the Big Bang. Simply because it just seems so much more reasonable. Of course, it wouldn't be the Big Bang, since there's no air in space. There would be no sound. It would be more like the big pfft, but whatever. Next question. Would you rather find true love or $10 million? That's a good question. I have no idea. That's actually kind of a good question. $10 million or true love? I don't know. Well, in the position I'm in right now, I haven't given love much of a thought. I used to, and I kind of gave up on that because it it just didn't really interest me. But I would rather have $10 million. I'll be straight up. I'd rather have $10 million, because I can do a lot more with that money than finding true love. And true love, it's great. Okay, true love is good. But considering that I have pretty much given up hope on finding any sort of relationship, and it's not it is entirely my fault, but It's my decision. I've made it. I'd rather go with $10 million. This is entirely a personal preference. If I did find true love, sure, that would be epic and amazing. But in this day and age, it's pretty dang difficult. So $10 million, if it's guaranteed, I could do so much with that money. Anyways, going on to page 2. Would you rather be famous or best friends with someone famous? Or sorry, that I pronounced that wrong. I would actually rather be famous. I'll be completely honest. Because then all my friends would be famous and I'd be able to get them more exposure. And that's kind of what I want, is I want to give other people exposure through my own means. So if I'm famous, then I can give all these other people exposure, and then I can be friends with other people who are famous. So really, I can kill two birds with one stone and just say I'd rather be famous, so all my friends can be famous, and I'll still be friends with them. There you go. Let's see what the people say. 57% of people would rather be famous, and 43% would rather be friends with someone famous. So there you go. I haven't been checking the stats on these mainly because I've been forgetting. Would you rather be, or would you rather know? Sorry, let me start again. Would you rather know the death cannot be avoided by acting upon this knowledge, date of your death, or cause of your death? I would rather know my cause of death, because then, I wouldn't have a care in the world. I know that I die from this thing, so anything else that I do that doesn't pertain to that won't kill me. So, like, say I die in a car crash. I know that jumping off this hill won't kill me because I'm going to die in a car crash, and I can't avoid it. So I can do whatever the heck I want. I could skydive and know that I'm not going to die because I'm going to die in this car crash. It's going to happen down the road. Pun intended. A very morbid pun, but a pun nonetheless. So I would rather know my cause of death. Let's see. 52% would rather know their date, and 48% would rather know their cause. So there you go. Next question. Would you rather have everlasting fame and fortune and nothing else, or be in love and nothing else? So, this is entirely personal preference. I'm a bit of a sociopath, so I'm going to say everlasting fame and fortune. Because, why not? It kind of depends on why I'm famous and I have a big fortune. There's a lot of implications that go into that. But, I mean, true love, or find your love in nothing else? What? Why? You've got nothing. This is of course implying that you have legitimately nothing. You are, stuck in the woods with the girl that you like, or the guy, I'm not judging, and you have absolutely nothing. You've got no resources, nothing. At least with fame and fortune, you have some resources. You can actually do some stuff. And again, with my preference, I would rather not, I would rather build a company. I would rather be successful. Because again, I'm a bit of a sociopath. Anyways, would you rather have more time or money? This is difficult, because if I had more time, I would end up procrastinating longer. If I had more money, I could end up doing a lot more things. So I would rather go with money, personally. It's a 50-50 split, which I think is fair, but I'd rather have more money. Just because, more time, I'd just end up procrastinating more, not doing as much as I could. So I'm not too interested in having, 30-hour long days, because I would just be exhausted from procrastinating all day. Alright. Next question. Would you rather win the lottery or live twice as long? And I'm going to check how long I've been recording here. Just under 14 minutes, I think. So that's not bad. Would you rather win the lottery or live twice as long? I would rather live twice as long, because then I have twice the amount of time to actually make the same amount of money that I could get from the lottery. And it would be gradual, and I'd be able to think about what I'm going to spend it on instead of winning the lottery and just being like, I want that thing, I want that thing, I want this thing, I want that thing. It'd be gradual, so I'd be able to be like, well, I could get this thing, but I want to get this thing because it's a better better quality, better price, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, I would rather go for live twice as long, see the results. More people, 65% of people would rather win the lottery, and 35% of people would rather live twice as long. I am of course assuming that every single year is actually 2 years for, or every single year for you is actually 2 years. So you'd be, when you'd be 1 years old for 2001 and 2002 and so on. So, um, let's see, what's some other questions? Would you rather date a celebrity of your choice or your crush or the hottest person that you know? Um, that's a good question, actually. I would personally do my crush because I have no idea which celebrity I would date. Because honestly, I mean, I don't know celebrities that well. They could be total morons when you actually get to meet them. Um, then again, you could argue that your crush maybe isn't the best person in the world to be hanging out with. Maybe it's just her looks that you're after. So it's kind of something to think about. Both choices not ideal. Let's see what survey says. 66% would rather date. 66. Give me a second. 66 people, or 66% of people would rather have a crush, or would. Oh my goodness, I cannot talk right now. 66% of people would rather date their crush or the hottest person that they know, and 34% of people would rather date a celebrity of their choice. Interesting. Alright, let's scroll down a bit. Right, let's go through this. Skipped a couple questions. Would you rather be the richest person on the planet or immortal? I would rather be the richest person on the planet, no question about it. Because if I was immortal, then nothing can kill me, and I see my friends die off, and I see the planet die off, and I will never die. And if the planet explodes, then I would just be drifting through space. And I'm of course assuming that immortal means that I can't be killed in any way, shape, or form, and not just from old age. So if the planet ended, then I would just kind of be stuck there floating in space, and nothing would be able to kill me, which would really, really, really suck. Um. Anyways, let's move on here. Two more questions. Let's see. I'm just looking through these. Would you rather be a lawyer or a doctor? I would rather be a lawyer. Now there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, as a doctor, I've always hated surgery scenes in any movie I've ever watched. I've always hated them. I don't do too well with, people getting opened up. And it's not because of religious reasonings either. It's just because I get a bit squeamish when I see that. So I'd rather be a lawyer because I quite enjoy debating and I quite enjoy, reasoning and being very logical. With a doctor, sure, you're still logical. But you also have to open people up and you have to do all that gross, disgusting stuff. At least with a lawyer, you can wear a, $60,000 suit without worrying about it getting splattered in gore. Let's see. Let's go through this a little bit. Would you rather go deaf in 1 year or only be able to use the internet 1 hour per week? I would rather go deaf in 1 year. And I know which ear it would be. It would actually be my left ear, because I usually actually only have my headphone over one of my ears, which is my right ear. So having the other ear deaf wouldn't be much of an issue for me. Because I usually only have one headphone on unless I'm recording a video so I can get my microphone a bit close to my mouth, or if I'm listening to, a lot of music and I'm just zoned out, then, but other than that, I probably wouldn't even notice. Right, last question. Let's go to this one. Would you rather have a zombie apocalypse or have a World War III? That's a good question. Because World War III, let's start with World War III. When you think about it, what would that imply? Would that imply that the entire world gets destroyed, or the entire world gets involved in a war that gets eventually resolved through more peaceful means. The zombie apocalypse would mean that humanity essentially is wiped out. I'm fairly certain that apocalypse means that it's the end of the world. So World War III might not mean that it's actually the end of the world. It might just mean that, we have to reason through things. Now, of course, the picture that they have here is of I believe it's the White House that has been completely bombed out, and I don't think it would end up like that. Honestly, I think that if World War III started, I think we would be putting, or we should be putting a lot more efforts into reasoning with them and, trying to come up with a peaceful solution instead of just sending troops over to wherever the heck. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I think I would rather have World War III, which seems a bit heartless, but I mean that's just my personal preference. And obviously I've given the reasons for that. Let's see what the results for that are. 49% of people would rather have World War III, and 51% of people would rather have a zombie apocalypse. Okay, interesting. I can kind of see the appeal of that, because maybe you'd be able to defend yourself, but it would be inevitable. You would eventually starve or get so dehydrated that you just dry up. Like, you can't. There's a lot of good reasons to choose the other option from all these questions. And I've just gone with whatever comes off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm gonna rewatch this video and be like, why did I choose that? But those are my personal preferences, and I've just seen that I've gone to over 20 minutes apparently. I don't know how accurate. I don't know if I'm reading this timer right on Audacity, but apparently I've done that. So I'm gonna leave you guys on this note. I hope that you guys go check out the website down below. If you do make a video answering the following questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll go check it out and see what I think. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Become an apprentice and all that. I'm sorry, I messed up my outro. I don't have a standardized one. Be sure to hit that like button if you liked the video. Dislike it if you disliked it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And as always, leave a comment down below with your feedback, and follow me on Twitter for more up-to-date updates and more up-to-date updates. Anyways, see you oh my God, see you apprentices later. Game Master signing out.